Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to another episode of the Think Clinical podcast. My name is Hamza. It's always amazing to be here, and today once again we'll be going through another very important topic as far as your journey as a healthcare entrepreneur is concerned. These are very fundamental things that you need to have a good grip on as you embark on this very interesting journey. So once again, it's important that we lay the background and make sure that we have all the tools and all the knowledge that we need to be able to start this journey and embark on it more effectively. So welcome once again. I'm happy to be here as always. And today we'll be looking at another very important component of the strategic business planning process, and what we'll be looking deeper into today is on SWOT analysis. SWOT is an abbreviation, so it's SWOT. S for strengths, W for weaknesses, O for opportunities, and T for threats. What does this mean? And why do we even do a SWOT analysis in the first place? Why do you need to have this done for your healthcare business? So the one thing that we need to know is that this is a strategic planning tool, and we use it to, again, as I said, identify what our strengths are as a company, what our weaknesses are, what opportunities are out there, and what threats are out there. So just by how I put it out, you would realize that the strengths and weaknesses are internal analysis items, and then the opportunities and threats are external. And just so that you understand where this is, or this lies in the strategic planning process, you start with your mission. You need to be able to lay out your mission when you're doing a strategic planning, and that mission is what would help you carve out your SMART objectives, or how you want to achieve or accomplish that mission. Now, once you set up your objectives, those objectives would only be practical or would be feasible after you do what we call an external analysis and an internal analysis, and that is where the SWOT comes in. So the SWOT helps you to do a proper external analysis, looking at the opportunities and the threats out there, and a proper internal analysis, looking at your strengths and your weaknesses as a company. And obviously this leads to a strategic choice, which can be at a business level, where you have to position yourself or your business in the market, or how you want to position your business in the market. And then the other arm of it is a corporate level strategy, which just informs the businesses you enter into. So the corporate level strategy is what you enter into. Business level strategy is how you position your business in the entire market. Now, this also leads further to your strategic implementation from your strategic choice, whether you're doing a business level strategy or you're doing a corporate level strategy. You have to implement that strategy, and again, that will lead to a competitive advantage, which we already spoke about in our previous episodes when we talked about the VRIO framework on just building sustainable competitive advantage. Now, having this understanding, you will see that strategies do fail because we need to pay attention to how we are executing it, and the execution of this is important as far as seeing what you can do as a company and what is out there that could hinder your growth. So basically, SWOT analysis is one of the things that gives you a very objective layout of what your chances are and what you can explore out there to be able to get the information you need. So let's talk about how we can do a proper SWOT analysis. So people often confuse this, and when you ask someone to present a SWOT analysis, all they do is they list all the strengths they have, they list all the weaknesses they have, they list all the items they think are opportunities out there, and they list all the items they think there are threats out there. They list them and they present them to you without any analysis. So the big part of this is an analysis. Without an analysis of how your strengths will help you leverage the opportunities out there, how your strengths would help protect you against the threats out there, how your weaknesses are going to expose you as far as those weaknesses out there are concerned, or those opportunities out there are concerned. Are your weaknesses going to be your way in exploring those opportunities? That's where the analysis is. So listing them is not as important as trying to see how each of these components can be used to leverage or at least hedge the risk of what potentially you could be facing out there. So let's look at this and how to do a proper one. First of all, before you even embark on doing the SWOT analysis, you need to go through what we call a preparation stage. What does this mean? You need to gather as much information as you can, because if you don't have information out there and what the reality of your situation is out there, you absolutely cannot do a very detailed objective SWOT analysis. So the first thing you need to do is to gather information. Do market research, get market research reports. So because this will help you understand what current trends are out there, what's the market size for what you're trying to go into, and what's the growth projections. So that's the first thing you need to do. Now once you're able to get all this information, now you have to come internally and do what we call an internal performance of all the data that you can gather internally as a company. So this, you can get these from your financial statements, you can get these from your patient satisfaction reports, and you can also get this from just your operational metrics that you've been tracking. And hopefully we spoke about this in previous episodes on how to track or what to track in terms of the key performance indicators. You need to do a proper competitor analysis, and this will look into your strengths and weaknesses, like within internally. You need to look at your regulatory environment. What is out there that which regulations out there would probably make your work more difficult than it's supposed to be. You need to look into those and actually follow the trend of how these things are changing over a period of time. So having done this preparation and looking internally into your company and what you have available, now this is when you start doing you start assessing or identifying your strengths. Now, as I said, strengths are internal attributes, so they give your healthcare or your hospital business an advantage over your competitors out there. So you are looking at everything within your company that is giving you a competitive edge, and then using those to be able to inform how you strategize. So one, are you providing high patient quality of care? Do you have more experienced staff? Do you have a strategy where you're able to retain staff better than your competitors out there? Do you have more advanced technology, or just a better brand recognition? All these things are strengths that you can leverage within your organization, because they will give you an opportunity to explore some of the opportunities out there, and obviously to be able to mitigate some of the threats that may come your way. And now you come over to your weaknesses. These are internal factors that could hinder the performance of your healthcare business. So you are looking at stuff like operational cost. Are you spending so much on your operational cost? Do you have so many inefficiencies within your operational systems that you could eliminate, or that is making your operational costs go up? Do you have staff shortages? Because we have averagely a 17% nursing turnover rate, for instance. So how are you controlling that within your organization? What you are offering to your population, are they limited? Do you have limited service offerings? You need to open that up. It could be a weakness, right? Your technology, just as advanced technology could be a strength, outdated technology could be a weakness too. So are you staying on top of all the technological advances that are coming in terms of how patient care is supposed to look like? Are you on top of all those? These are questions that you start asking yourself as you move on. Once the internal side of things are done, you have to move over to the external side, which is looking at your opportunities and looking at your threats. what opportunities are out there that your business can capitalize on to improve or to grow. One of the big things in healthcare, for instance, is the fact that there's always a growing demand for healthcare. So you will need to look at, within the context of like the healthcare businesses, what subset of services are in high demand, and those are some of the opportunities you need to explore or pay more attention to so that you're able to get some competitive edge. Looking at stuff like telemedicine growth is increasingly becoming very important for people to have telemedicine services, and patients are requiring or asking for telemedicine services. So this could be an opportunity for you to grow. The last component of the SWOT analysis are your threats, which are also external. And these could really impact your business in so many ways. So I talked about regulatory changes. You need to be on top of those. Economic downturns. So whenever there's a recession, for instance, elective surgeries across board, there's like a 5% decrease in elective surgery just because people do not have the finances to come in and do those procedures. So these are threats that could possibly affect you if you don't stay on top of those. Competition, you will not isolate, you cannot isolate your services or what you do without having other people doing the same thing. So you need to look at the competition you have out there. We've had so many issues of cybersecurity attacks. Are you prone to some of these things? So these are some of the questions that you ask yourself, and these are some of the things that you look at when you're looking at your strengths, when you're looking at your weaknesses, when you're looking at your opportunities out there and the threats out there. Now, you have all these listed out. And since you have this, now you have to synthesize this information. That's where the analysis comes in, and that's what most people don't do or forget to do because they think they could just put everything together. What does this mean? How do you leverage your strengths to capitalize on opportunities? So let's say, as I said, you have strength in, let's say, advanced technology, right? How do you leverage that to tap into a growing demand for telemedicine services? Let's say in opportunities you said, hey, there's an increasing demand for telemedicine services. How do you tap into that market? That's one of the things that you need to look at. Again, how are your strengths going to help you with your weaknesses? You have a limited service offering, right? But then you have a good brand recognition or high quality of care that patients believe in. So whenever you add any more offerings, people are willing to jump on it. How are you going to leverage that, use those strengths to at least mitigate some of the effects of the threats or the weaknesses that you have? So this is how you do the analysis. But overall, if you do a proper SWOT analysis, one of the big things that will happen with you is that you will see an overall cost reduction. That we are talking about 10 to 20% in cost reduction. We are talking about revenue growth, which is in the range of about 15 to 20%. We are looking at good patient outcomes because you have a plan to actually provide the right kind of care for these people. We are looking at a better market position as well as patient retention. So these are some of the advantages of doing a proper SWOT analysis. So in doing all these things, you need to be very, very, very detailed and very careful on what you actually expect to get out of this analysis, and then you incorporate that into your strategic planning process. And again, the process starts with your mission, list your objectives, and those objectives are going to be informed largely by all the external analysis you've done in terms of opportunities and threats out there, and the internal analysis you've done in terms of strengths and weaknesses, which is your SWOT analysis. And that will lead you to make a strategic choice of either you're making a business level decision, which is how you position your firm, or a corporate level decision, which is which businesses you are going to go into, and then leading to the strategic implementation and then your competitive advantage. This has been another exciting episode of the Think Clinical podcast. Again, my name is Hamza. If you haven't done so already, please remember to subscribe, like, and share our content. And if you have any questions or any feedback for us, please just leave in the comment section and we'll be happy to respond to you. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your week.